Okay, today we're going to be doing some hiking around Chamonix, specifically climbing up to a kind of peninsula of rock that goes between two glaciers, the Bossons glacier, and the trek is called La Jonction, and it's the junction of two glaciers. So it's a climb of about 1,500 meters, and our starting point is Les Bossons, which is the most it's the closest kind of village to the base of the climb. So where we're headed is up there, and we'll see how it goes. I don't really know how long it's going to take, but it's 8 o'clock in the morning right now, and hopefully we'll be able to break the back of it before it gets too hot. So as you leave the village of Les Bossons, you'll see these signs here, and they should tell us our junction's off to the left. Doesn't exactly take too long before you're off the tarmac and in the forest, and the trail's actually a little bit hard to see at first. It's there, but it's so peaceful right now, apart from me talking. But the trail is just a dirt path at this point. The first part of this hike is pretty well signposted with these sort of yellowy signs, so you can just follow those. And I want to show you these lovely little wild strawberries growing everywhere, so you know, perhaps don't take too much food with you, just sort of snack on the trail. Look at them, they're absolutely everywhere. So we've climbed about 200 meters now, and you're sort of in and out of the woods like this. You're starting to get great views, and just so many fantastic wildflowers the whole way up. Really is just such a spectacular start to this hike. And yeah, at times you kind of duck into the woods here, and it gets a bit darker, and then it opens up again and you see where you're going. But yeah, absolutely glorious start to this walk. It's possible in peak season to use this chairlift that's behind me to get the first part of the climb out of the way, but I think in a way it's a bit of a shame really, because this first part is pretty nice and it's not especially arduous. You're still always going to have to be doing quite a lot of climbing on this route, even if you do use the chairlift, so personally I wouldn't bother. So just at the top of the ski lift, you'll see the ski lift, you can't really miss it. You get to this point here, and if you turn left, go that way, there's an amazing view to be seen, so let's go and have a little look. So on our little detour here, as you go around the back of the chalet, it doesn't appear to be open today, but you can normally get a nice can of cold Coke there, or snack if you want. There's these bits of aeroplane here. There's not much information around what they belong to. I'm sure I could find out a little bit more info about it later. There's some bits of aluminium there from wings, obviously propeller, flat 6 engine. And we carry on following the path around this way, and then the view really opens up. So I don't want to spoil it for you, but we'll be there in a sec. Oh, hang on, looks like a parachute as well, really? Oh, maybe a raft, like an inflatable raft. Well, don't quite know what that belongs to. Again, a little bit short on detail. Maybe these like online guide might be able to help. I'll check that out later. So it looks like the platform itself is shut today because it's in quite poor condition by all accounts. There we go, look, you can see the glacier towering above us here. Those huge chunks of ice ready to come down at any moment, so it's about as close as you can really get to it. Spectacular sight though. So we've climbed 769 meters and we've got 789 meters to go. If we're at 769, then probably we're probably 1,700 and something above sea level, and this is a great place to stop and have a little break because we are in an absolutely stunning location here. It's actually a bit precipitous, so we got to be careful about not going off the edge there. But as you can see, we've got the face of the glacier there. There's the old cable car station up there. We've got Aiguille du Midi all the way up there. Chamonix town there, seeing as far away as Argentier. And yeah, this hike is starting to get quite exciting now as the tree line thins out. You see we've still got quite a few trees to go, but the trees are looking much more sort of stunted and you know, kind of bonsai'd naturally by the altitude. And yeah, we're going to take a little break here, have a bit of water, a few peanuts maybe, and join us again shortly. So this part of the La Jonction hike zigzags over the top of the narrow ridgeline, and on the left hand side you keep getting glimpses of the Bossons glacier, which is the one I just showed you, and on this side, if you look around here, this is the Taconnaz glacier, which is equally spectacular, and the view keeps switching from one to the other. And on this side, that's where the Bossons is. The path is a lot less covered with trees now. Oh, some lovely butterflies as well, and these pink flowers here, my goodness, that's a precipitous drop. These pink flowers here are apparently a native version of rhododendron. So we've got a little section here where we have to go downhill briefly before we come up the other side again. So 850 metres into the climb, and some pretty spectacular views. That was the Bossons side, and yeah, it's really starting to open up a bit now. The views get better and better. Look at that, Chamonix, and we keep going up. We've got about 760 metres to go until we get to the top. So we've climbed about 1,000 metres vertical now, and it's taken us about 2 hours 10 minutes. We're going fairly slow pace, been overtaken by a few people, but equally we haven't stopped for very long at any point. So we've got another 500 metres or so vertical to climb, and then we'll be there. So it's probably going to take us just over maybe 3.5 hours to get to the top, and then we'll take a good break when we get there. Certainly starting to feel like it's a bit steeper at this point. We've had some bits where we've had to use our hands to climb up a little bit. Nothing technical, but you can hear me, I'm a bit out of breath now compared to the start, so we're getting a good workout for sure. We're now 1,150 metres into this climb now, with about 430 to go, and as you can see, there's almost no trees at this height. It's all quite open, and we're now zigzagging across the ridge going up. The path head, as you can see, it's all quite open, and we just saw a guy going past on his parapente. Now sometimes, I don't know if it's likely to happen on this particular hike, because I know they've sort of clamped down on it a little bit, but they occasionally do wingsuiting over here. They come over this ridge and then go onwards to Bossons and then back into the landing site down in Chamonix town. But I mean, it's spectacular enough from a hiking point of view. I don't think you necessarily need to hurl yourself off the mountain. There's an obvious picnic spot at this point where you get amazing views and a nice flat area to sit. We're going to carry on up though, I think. There's a few short sections on this route where you have to actually go downhill a little bit, which is slightly annoying once you've put all the effort into climbing up. And yeah, the path is a bit sort of chopped up at this point. And then you go back up again the other side. I think this is a good opportunity to get the camera rolling, because it looks to me like when we get through this little bit here, we're going to get a fantastic view. So while we go up this path to get there, we've got about 370 metres vertical to climb still. We are, I'm guessing here a little bit, probably 3 hours in. And yes, here we are, just meeting someone coming the other way. Let's have a look at this view. Look at that. So that's the Bossons glacier again. We're starting to see how we reached the point where the two glaciers meet. absolutely spectacular stuff. Chamonix Valley down there. So just after that little col, you've got this incredible sort of balcony along next to the glacier here. Little patches of snow just below us. Really beautiful part of the walk, or run if you're feeling particularly energetic, I guess. Okay, this little bit of the hike is 1,270 meters in, and we're right up against the glacier at this point. I turn it around, you hardly believe it. Just the cold air is cascading off of that. It's towering over us. You see, there's the Aiguille du Midi ahead of us there. Glacier's right next to us. And we're now about to take our first steps onto snow. Well, I'm not, because I've only got my trainers on. I don't want to get wet feet for the heck of it. I'm at about 1,300 meters in now, and as you can see, we've got the glacier just behind me there, and up ahead of me is a couple of snowfields, fairly substantial size. And yeah, it's incredible they're here because it's actually quite hot in the sun, and you know, we're only in a sort of early part of June here, but my goodness, that sun has some serious strength to it, and yet that snow has persisted up until now. This bit's a bit more of a climb, as you can see. You kind of need to be prepared to use your hands again. This is the final stage really. We've only got 240 meters to go. Still can't really see where we're going here, it's so steep. It's not obvious what's next, but yeah, it's a fun, challenging section this. We've got snow right up to the edge of the path again here, which is quite nice really, but maybe if we'd done this hike 4 or 5 weeks ago, back in May, perhaps it would have been much harder to follow this path. It's marked with these little yellow spots that you can see here, but you know, if they were covered up and the path was covered by snow, I'm not sure how easy this hike would be to do. So I guess I'd probably recommend that you check the path is clear before you attempt this, because if you were to lose the path, you could find yourself in quite an unfortunate situation. So we're at we've climbed 1,500 meters now. Our actual altitude is about 2,400 above sea level, and we can actually now see the top of the route. There's an enormous boulder there, which is right near the top, and I think those people stood up there are on the top themselves, so it's not far to go now. 60 meters vertical from the top, and we're coming through this little cool section here where you're surrounded by these great big boulders. This is called Gîte à Balmat, and it's 2,530 meters, and there's a fantastic French description there which I can't read, so that's one I'll have to look up later what that's all about. Then we're back into the open air again here, and the top is just up there where that post is. Here we are, almost at the top. 1,576 meters of climbing done, and only about 30 to go, and we are coming over this little ridge here and faced with the most astonishing sight, which is the Bossons glacier right next to us. What an incredible thing. Dome de Goutte up there, and Mont Blanc is somewhere in those clouds over there. So let's have a look at the scene here. Ah, absolutely incredible. You can just hear the odd tick tick of water dripping off the glacier, and I guess this camera doesn't really do the scale of it any justice. It's absolutely enormous. There's a little plane there, I don't know if you can even see it, but I'll give you some sense of the enormity of this valley. Right, final stretch now. So actually, for this little bit here, we're going to go across the snowfield. We're not on the glacier here, This is just compacted snow, and I've got my poles out for this because I don't want to go up to my knees in slushy snow at this point. Could really do without that. Here we are. So about 1,600 meters climbing in, and about 3.5 hours, I guess. Here we are at a junction. You see, we've got the sign there. Let's head on up to the very top and see what we can see. It's a bit of a scramble to get up here. Just doing one more little video from Le Jonction before we head down again. As you can see, it's just such a spectacular view here. We've got Mont Blanc up there somewhere in the clouds. I feel sorry for anyone that's gone to the effort of climbing it today who won't actually have got a view from there. But to give you a bit of perspective, they're almost double the altitude that we are here. We're at about 2,600 metres above sea level here, and they're at 4,800 up there. So if you find a hike like this hard work, it should give you a bit of perspective about what it takes to climb Mont Blanc. So we're now well into the descent. We're still not quite at the tree line yet. There's some little bonsai trees here, but I thought I'd film this bit because it's going to be glorious going the other way. Just wow. Incredible. So at this point in the descent, we're actually going to take a slightly different route. We came up this path here, and then followed around like this, up there. And on the way down, we're going to go off down to the left there. Or at least that's what we're going to try and do. It's not a route I've walked before, so we'll have to see how feasible it is. But it'd be nice to do something a bit different. It should take us lower, quicker on a steeper section, and then out and along by the river. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Bit of a change of plan. That sign there says it doesn't look like it's a good idea to carry on down that route for whatever reason. So we're going to go back on the route we originally came, I think. So we're quite a long way into the descent now, and yeah, it's nice to be getting back down. It's getting quite hot and muggy. I've run out of water. Took a litre and a half of water each, which was, I think, just about enough, but right now I could do with a little bit more. But yeah, things are starting to level out a little bit, and it's a bit more of a predictable pace, and not too many steep bits left now. So let's make our way down to the bottom and get ourselves some drinks. Very nearly back at the start now, back down at Les Bossons, and there's quite a lot of nettles here. What have I learned? Well, I guess this is one of my favourite hikes, really. It's just so spectacular, the view at the top, and in fact all the way up. It's the way it keeps on crossing over the ridge. It's just, you never really get bored. But my knee hurts a little bit. I'm quite thirsty, run out of water a while back, and I'm looking forward to getting a drink when I get down the bottom properly. What else? Yeah, trainers. These running shoes, actually, a little bit too soft for this. Probably should have worn my hiking boots because, well, mainly because I'm worried about ripping these. There's quite a few sharp rocks towards the top. And scuffing the sides of these running shoes down those sharp rocks has come quite close to tearing them open a few times. So hiking boots recommended, even on quite a hot day like this, I'd say. And yeah, also about getting here, the bus from Chamonix, no problem at all. Got it free with the carte de Haute, which is a free bus pass. You can get to use the whole of the Chamonix Valley while you're staying here. Oh, there's a nice lizard there. Let's have a little look at him. There he goes. So yeah, bus is really good. Recommended way of getting here to the start point. And yeah, I think just had some sort of bread and cheese basically with us to eat, and I think there was enough food. Didn't really need much food. Could definitely have travelled a little bit lighter, I think. But yeah, all in all, smashed it. Great walk. So all in all, great day out, but absolutely baking now. We're back in the valley. It's really hot here. But fortunately, there's also a fantastic way of cooling down, which they've put here just for the purpose. So here goes. Lovely.